Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I am back with MuWave, the creator of Summoner Lab. This is the product we talked about before on the channel, which gives you all kinds of chart data on Splinterlands assets, historic pricing, which is really interesting to follow, as well as some interesting additional tools and utilities that can really help you unlock, I guess, certain advantages for playing Splinterlands. So MuWave's here. He's done some changes to the website and he wanted to come back on to talk about some of those new updates. MuWave, say hi. And for people who don't know you, maybe give us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll get into whatever updates you want to talk about today.
All right, sure. How are you doing? Thanks for having me. So Summoner Lab is a data analysis tool that I built for Splinterlands a few months ago. You can see historical data from charts and the price movements of cards. You can explore how the market is going, like see which cards are going up, which cards are going down, like in a coin market cap or CoinGecko style. And there are new features like the cards page where you can see win rates, and you can see for each card the best supporters, the best counters, the best rule set, and things like that. And everything is can be filtered by league. One important thing about it is that we are filtering by league, but it's the true league that is taken into account. So if you are you and your opponent are both in diamond and use level 1 summoners, then the battle will not be registered as a diamond battle because it's not diamond level. So there must be at least one monster at diamond level to be recorded as a diamond battle. That's also why there are so few diamond battle with respect to the other leagues.
Like, let's just look at Oceanus, for instance, and then you can see there are 18,000 battles that have been performed with this, that have included this card, and then it gives you, it's strong against certain cards, it's weak against others, it's got certain best teammates and best rule sets, and the percentage here is actually a win rate. Is that
the
true?
win rate? Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
Look at that win rate. It's sometimes I find this data, like in particular, this one example, it isn't always maybe deeply relevant because it's not like this is a direct canter. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it kind of is in some sense. Like I can picture a context where I would use a boatman as a sniper probably I would be doing a especially with the boatman, I'd probably be doing a white splinter snipe team, and they have the lone boatman, and I'm trying to remember the second name, but there's another archer that's a sniper from the same Untamed pack that has 5 archery damage. And if you were using 5 archery damage and snipers for that matter on the Oceanus, which is probably going to be in that sniper position, that second or third spot, with a huge hit point pool and a force field at like higher levels, maybe that's why the boatman is really not doing well against Oceanus. But it's interesting to think that stuff through. Even if I say to myself initially, oh, I don't really know how deeply relevant that one matchup is, because it's still so cool to have access to this data and to be able to like just kind of imagine your way through it. And it's actually more than just like one card. Like I love like that you can go across different like this is diamond, and it changes the variables and gold and the variety of even the number of battles. Like you were saying, this is because this here at 360 is smaller because the matchup has to include some monsters that are at that gold level. Did I understand you correctly? Okay.
Well, I do not have access to all the games, and I have access only to a sample of games every day. Indeed, all the data on the website is taken in the last 14 days, so that I have enough data to make it somewhat relevant, but also it still takes into account the current meta.
Gotcha. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially because of the evolving meta. You would I see why you would want like a rolling data set, not like a stationary over the last 6 months data set, because
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. Cool.
All right. You can try to log in so we can see the full data.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you can refresh or open another card. It should do.
Let's check out ruler. Cool.
All right.
So at the pro level, you get access to additional metrics and information.
Yes. You get access to the best mana caps and 2 more data points for each category.
So
And
cool.
also you get the histogram distribution of the win rate versus the number of battles.
So cool. Okay.
All right. I think you touched on a very important point, which is the data is not necessarily relevant. I mean, what we're looking at is teams that defeated the card or that won with that card, which means, I mean, yeah, they're probably, I mean, they probably did something good, but the win is a team effort and the defeat is also the defeat of the team. So yeah, the single card is important, but also take into account that the rule of the seas is very good with dragon jumpers. And I mean, I don't know why specifically the dragon jumper. You can click on it and it will take you to the dragon jumper. But I mean, it's just that people that build the team with the dragon jumper are probably good players in general, because it's a very good card. It's an expensive card, and so you can see that the data is also skewed in that way. But I mean, that's what we have.
Very cool. Yep. So Jotun, and then prices, edition, rarity,
Yes.
a bunch of data in that. It's very clean considering there's a ton of data on this screen. Like it's not overpacked. So good job with that. And then
Thank you.
strongest against, weakest against. Okay. Interesting. Phantom of the Abyss. Like look at the, so hang on a second. Jotun wins 15.8% of the time when he's facing Phantom of the Abyss. Is that correct?
Correct.
That kind of, and see, this is the fun part. It's like, okay, if that's the data, why is that? Because like you said, an individual card doesn't win against an individual summoner. It's like there's a team at work. But it is interesting to then it almost is like this exercise. Okay, this data is in front of you, and we trust that data. So then trying to think that through is kind of a cool exercise for me, I would think, and maybe the audience too, because it can maybe stretch that muscle that helps you make decisions quickly within that 2-minute window to pick your own team, where you're like, you can begin to think through like why one team would lose to another card regularly. Jotun, just trying to put it together retroactively, Jotun with archery, his biggest vulnerability is going to be speed and evasiveness. The Phantom of the Abyss is got dodge, flight, and huge 6 speed, so archery is like very likely going to miss. And there are several fire archers that are not very quick. They're like 2-3 speed, and so they would have a real problem. So that's interesting, but it's just a theory, and then you'd have to kind of, you could maybe dive deeper by like going on Phantom of the Abyss or looking at cards that best teammate with interesting best teammates. Like I'm surprised by these two with, anyways, this is the fun of this device.
So yeah, you're making again a good point. You can see the Merman healer can make somewhat sense since it has triage. So I mean, you can kind of heal the blast damage, but also the middle card, I don't even know what it's called, and I have no idea why it's there.
This one at higher levels has protect. And so the protect would be armor that affects your would be be more resilient against the blast and against the archery.
All right, that makes sense. Also, I noticed there are no archery cards on the best teammates, which is kind of weird.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's their retaliate maybe, which attacks more and triggers blast more times. Does it trigger blast? I don't know.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scroll down to see the prices you can rent it. Anyway, the usual stuff, or you can go to the chart and
Wow.
and take it from there.
41.25 right now. Hey, wow, that's wild.
Yeah. Well, it's shooting.
And then rent, and you
Yeah.
okay, so 19. That's pretty reasonable, actually.
Yeah, it's really reasonable.
Yeah. And we can rent
I
through,
usually.
like I could just go like this and rent, right?
Yep.
Cool. So cool.
You can go in the community tab, and that's basically a new thing where I will keep you updated with the things that are going on with the website. For example, I'm holding the first number 0 Summoner Lab contest, which is basically a contest. So you need to create a post on PicD or Splinter Talk or anywhere you like on how you use Summer Lab or an experience you had or things like that. And the best will win like Chaos Legion packs and SPS and things like that.
Nice.
And also I will put, all the video in which you talk about Summer Lab, just send me a message and I'll put them up here.
Awesome.
And yeah, also, if you guys are interested in being featured on this page, there's a channel on the Discord that where you can send the link to the work you did, and we can put it up here, and that's fine.
Awesome. Guys, if you personally are posting things, you're going on here through the community, you can see the Discord, and you can pop into Discord and send MuWave a link for your post, and then it can be featured here. I'm sure he's going to do quality checks and see what that it's accurate and all that. But it's a great tool. So guys, take him up on that. One of the things that I really like using the tool for, like whenever I lose a match and I end up thinking to myself like, man, how did I just lose that? Because sometimes you feel like it's obvious you're going to lose, and other times it's like, how could that possibly work out? It's really great to pop on and then see what the data is on something, and it can be a really powerful learning experience where you see it happen, like you experience the loss or the victory and you're surprised by that, and then you pop on and you get that like confirmation almost, or like extra explanation around it for like seeing some of the comparisons, and it'll be like we said, Phantom can beat Jotun quite regularly, and seeing some of the like one of the cards that I really like playing. Let's look at that. I really like playing. Obviously, I really like playing Kitty a lot. So let's see, summoners.
You're filtering by name also.
Oh, that's right.
Below. All right.
So where's Kitty? Kitty's got to lose to something. So let's have a peek. So weakest against. So Kitty is weak against these. Wow. See, this is interesting. Again, it's like, I wouldn't think that Mylor with the thorns is of course a problem, and you can get such a 20, you can build like a 20 mana point team that's has a lot of hit points, and then the thorns is going to slowly kill you, and you only can heal your tank, right? It's with the Kitty versus every character can have thorns. Interesting.
Yeah, it's basically Mylor can shift the needle, because Kitty, but basically you cannot hit Kitty, but Kitty can hit you, and if it hits you, there are thorns, which again you take damage anyway,
and
so that kind of makes sense.
And amplify also, because nowadays Mylor gets paired up with the legendary. Let's see,
Queen Mycelium.
Yeah, so I would expect best teammates would be including Queen Mycelia. Interesting.
Probably you can see in the top right above the histograms.
Yep.
You can quickly switch the league, so you can see most battles were in a novice league. So clearly there was no amplify on Queen Mycelia, but still I'm also surprised that it's not one of the best teammates.
Interesting. See, that's the thing. Yeah, like you just never know. But then one thing I did notice, this is something that maybe I'll ask you, and we talked about it a moment ago, saying like there are more battles at lower levels because of how the data is tracked, and you need to have if you're recording a diamond game, it needs to have diamond monsters in it. And that's why there's so many fewer battles with certain monsters. But this is an important sort of, I don't know, caveat when one is looking at the data and saying to themselves, like trying to understand it, because in certain situations, like what I did the other day is I came through, and this is one of the main reasons or ways that I use the data too, is I'll come through and I'll just look at summoners, and and I'll look at win rates on any sort of card, but summoners is one great way. And so I'll pop on here regularly, and before I go shopping, I'll just analyze win rates. So of course, if you're trying to go shopping, you're not going to look at alphas and beta summoners, and you know what I mean. Those are going to be too expensive. But if you circulate down to Chaos Legion, for instance, it's really interesting to see. Okay, well, of the summoners from Chaos Legion, which are going to be the cheapest in the game, which ones are going to be inexpensive? Are going to have the highest win rates, and they're all inexpensive. Like so, at various levels, you can see that all of the data, which we're clicked on right now, there's tons of battles, and you can see that Tarsa does really well, or sorry, really poorly. But I actually think it varies at every sort of level. Because Quix the Devious, I noticed the other day, like this is 55, and I think he might be 60 or 70 here. See, look, 73 at bronze, but watch him drop off like a dramatic. The data changes so dramatically. It's still 70, then way down at 50. So at gold, Quix the Devious disappears in sort of the meta, and and look at that diamond.
Wow.
24, and so
also Obsidian's 26%. That's pretty low.
Yeah, this is the best. This is what I like seeing. Like the best Chaos Legion summoner in diamond or higher is Kelly Frendel of the Chaos Legion summoners, and that is so important to know. Have an analytic database to, I guess, to found some of your purchases upon, because when we go shopping for monster cards, it's like one time sometimes you get a hunch or a feeling like, okay, I lose quite a bit. I play in diamond and I lose quite a bit to Kelia maybe, and you might think that, and then you might go shopping for one because you want to improve your deck. Well, now when you have those hunches, you can bring it to Summoner Lab, and you can actually see what the data has to say with that at various levels. And sometimes it's dramatically different. If you're playing at silver, Quix the Devious is really actually very powerful. If you're playing at bronze, he's really powerful. Even I think it was at gold too, wasn't it? No, not gold. Yeah. So silver or bronze, crushing it. And I think obsidian too. I want to see just Tarsa. So let's see.
Ifrit Rising, best teammates, what?
Yeah. So Tarsa is among the, like this is one of the main ways that I like to I use your tool, and I've done so on streams a few times where we'll just like, me and Jim Morgan will just like talk about, okay, why is Tarsa losing? Then we come through and we look at these things, for instance, and then we start to think it through, which is I think a really important process for users of Splinterlands and Summoner Labs, anybody who loves this game, to really act. It's a tool set, or like a mental mindset that I think is really helpful to kind of practice. And so that's I think it's a great way to use the website. Weakest. Of course, she loses because she's against magic. Like speed is the issue, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I noticed that most of, you can see in the histogram on the right that basically all the battles are in novice, and there are 121,000 battles, and it's in novice, so it's probably also unexperienced players or even bots. So that's why the win rate flattens out at 50%, because, well, there are too many data points, and probably the skill level is also, I mean, there are very good players, but there are also bots, so it balances out.
Yeah,
in that way.
Really interesting. That is also a point that I wanted to make earlier. When you say there's a lot of data. There's a lot of data points. It's important to, so when I'm looking at this information, I'm trying to say to myself, okay, which summoner is the best for the best price? This tool is doing that. But you then need to, just like when you're reading an essay, like a piece of like scientific literature, you want to check the sources that are being cited. In each of
Yes.
these data points, you actually, there's a source that you can cite in the sense of, okay, at what league am I looking, and how many battles are there? So 28,000 is quite a bit, but like at novice 500,000 is a lot. Like, I mean, that then, but then you that's a great point around bots, because they're probably just like, there's a lack of thoughtfulness being applied, and it's almost like a coin toss at that level because of that
Yeah, exactly.
lack of thoughtfulness. And then we start to get into higher, and you start to see differentiation because of expertise and human, I guess, thoughtfulness and ingenuity. But as we approach into higher and higher levels, the data that's capable of being looked at grows smaller and smaller. And in actually, this is a fine number, I think, but with some of the cards, you'll find this is a few hundred. And
Yeah.
like how many, like 400 battles, that's still enough, I think, to make it reliable. But I sometimes, when I was using the data, and this is just for the audience to recognize, if you're using this tool for the purpose that I use it to analyze, the win rates of certain cards, and then think through what you might buy, it's important to remember that. Let me show an example so I can, let's see, like, let's go here, beta summoners, Hero to Chaos. Okay, like, watch, what's it? Let me see this one. Look at 78%. Talia Firestorm. She has 92 battles, and that's a diamond. That's a really small data pool. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's entirely wrong. I mean, I think this is a good card because of the 2 mana cap. But again, it's like okay, that's a really amazing win rate. And then thinking through, okay, why does it have that win rate? And it's like practicing building certain thought, almost strategizing brain muscles that are like to think it all through, and so that we as players can build teams faster at that 2.5 minute time limit, recognize quality cards in the marketplace, and then buy them rapidly before others recognize them and drive that price up. And even the same with rental cards, understanding what a card is worth quickly so that you can get into a marketplace and just take advantage of lower prices while people are still not sure. And with sometimes data is not going to tell the full tale, because yeah, this is great, but this is not 500 battles. This is not 50,000 battles. It's 92. And this could just be this win rate could be in part due to the oddity of this card, and almost the defender's inability to, I guess, know how to respond. So, yeah, it's really fun to think that through. And I don't know if I'm right or not about why this win rate would be so high, but that's the amazing fun thing about this tool. It's one of this is the single thing that I use the website most for. And this correct me if I'm wrong, this is saying that this card gets played at diamond and it gets played at silver, but not elsewhere?
Yeah, basically,
Interesting.
yeah. I see a few battles, like very few in novice. You can see a very tiny sliver of the histogram. There we
Mm.
go. But yeah, and
Wow.
you can hover and see directly the win rates. Also, I was thinking, since this is a 2 mana summoner, I would
Mhm.
think it is used in very low mana games. And indeed, you can see that's the case. You can see the best mana cap is between 0 and 22.
Mm.
And in that range, it has a win rate of 80%, which is kind of a lot if you
Wow.
think about it.
Yeah,
Also,
that's really cool. I like these 2 mana cost summoners because they often allow there's certain key monsters at, for instance, 10. Like actually one that I really like is, it works with the Xander Foxwood. Xander Foxwood,
Mm-hmm.
2 mana, and then you. I'm really surprised that one of his best is not Kron, because Kron
Huh.
plus him is 12, and 12 is the lowest mana cap that we get in the game. So whenever I have Xander, that's what I'll do it in those 12 mana cap matches. And it happens so infrequently that my opponent's never ready for it. They don't think Kron is possible because who has Xander? Um, yeah, again, it's interesting. It's really interesting to think that's all that stuff through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
What else?
All right.
Tell me, so like I can specifically search not just, I can search melee or attack class. That's cool.
Yes.
I didn't.
You can also. Um, hmm. Well, maybe you can't.
I think
I don't know. I have
it's
to.
just thinking because
Uh,
it's probably it was generating a lot. Yeah, yeah. It's just now it's
yeah, I
just
don't know. I don't know why the melee doesn't work. Can you try magic maybe? Okay, magic works. Archery works. It also what? Something wrong with this filter. I have to figure out what's going on.
yeah.
But yeah, you could theoretically look for attack type. You can also search for abilities, which is I think it's pretty useful.
Nice.
And yeah, also by clicking the league, you can see the cards at the maximum level for that league. So that's also well. I mean, if you now go to filter by diamond, you can see there are much more demoralized cards you can have available.
Diamond. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean,
So because we're looking for a certain ability, and we can tech double strike. Is it now? It is okay. It is. It's checking
it's
demoralize.
both. Yeah, yeah,
In,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
Not both on the same, but both separately.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. I was thinking it was both on the same. That would be almost too much. But I like actually that's great that it's like individually. So if I quickly wanted, if I was in a battle and I was like, oh, if I could find double strike or demoralize. Actually, sometimes in rule sets, what I'll do is where there's melee from any position, I'll go into a game and
Mm-hmm.
I always think I want inspire or demoralize. And so I could come in here quickly and be like, inspire, demoralize, close, and then get like and I'm playing at diamond or higher, and then I could be like, what I often do is I'll often do white um or blue. I don't even have a full River Helendale. I got to fix that problem.
I
This
kind of like that card.
Me too. It's good. And I
With the Legionnaire Alva, it's very good
see here.
since it has Legionnaire Alva has Void Armor, so it can block you that magic shots, and
Mm-hmm.
then the Helendale can revive him with 1 HP, but still he has 9 armor, which is what they're gonna hit because it has Void Shield. So Void Armor. So I mean, I find it pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised this has such a low win rate. I
Yeah,
agree with what you said. That's a great strategy because the armor is going to replenish fully and the armor is void. Therefore, the 1 hit point is not going to be too much of a problem. That's a great idea. I'm just really surprised that it's only so.
it's very low, but it also very low number of battles, so it's not really that much relevant. If you have to be honest. If you change the league from above, you change the league from the cards select page. But if you
Gotcha.
change it within, you change it within the soul card.
Okay, so right here, I changed the leagues and it's giving me all the different cards that have these abilities in modern, which were inspire and demoralize. But then when I click on here, I
You
go,
can yeah you can change it from there also.
I have a sub window, and so like out here. is the Demoralized Inspire window, and down here is the Legionnaire Alver window, correct?
Exactly.
70% at silver, 68% at gold. It just has a hard time at diamond, but like you said, very few battles are being fought. I find that this is like, I'll use this card in, I play in diamond and or champion, and I find that this card is quite niche. Like I'll want it in very unique sort of, like I said, melee from any position type setups, but not just those. Like it's got to have like 99 mana. So I would say I understand why it's being played rarely, but at gold, it's kicking butt. So there you go, guys.
Yeah.
Silver, bronze, everywhere. I mean, it's still few battles, but silver and gold have, you know, more like 100 and still seven out of 10 wins. Wow. And like you said, that's exactly what they're doing. River, Hellendale,
Yeah.
with the Resurrect and the Inspire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great combo.
Tell me a little bit more about how the charting works, because I haven't done much dives on this. So how much data is there, and how does it works across every single card or every single asset? Is it just cards? Is it packs? Is it other data or what?
Right, at the moment it's just cards. I would love to add SPS, DC packs, or things like that, but it's kind of a different framework I need to work on. So no, that it's not here. It will take probably a long time.
Gotcha.
To come. But yeah. So when it works, try refreshing maybe. You can see basically all the cards. You can see data on all the cards except the Waka Spirit Blade, because it only includes level 1 cards, and so only 1 BCX cards. And well, that one comes only at level 4, so it does not have any
Gotcha.
any 1 BCX data. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's why you get stuck when you click on it. I should probably send an alert. Maybe I did. I don't remember. So anyway, you can have at the moment you can only access data for a maximum of 1 year.
Also, I wonder if you've been, like, I know the device, the tool can really give an input on like price increases recently. Obviously the charting can do that for every single card, but have you observed certain trends? Certainly prices have been going up is why I'm asking. I wonder if anything stands out as to certain cards have been spiking more. Prices are really dramatically going up right now. But is it old cards? Is it new cards? Is it summoners? Is it, like, I don't know. Is it gold foils? Is it regular foils? Do you have some sense of that?
Yeah, at the moment I'm pretty busy. I do not look
Sure.
at the Explore page. I haven't looked at it for like weeks, but we can try to figure it out.
So
We
explore,
can
it's the Explore
maybe
page, and it's got,
yes,
this is showing the ups, and this is like the coin market cap you were saying, coin
yes.
gecko type vibe, where it's got 24-hour percent ups or downs, I guess, 7-day up or down. Look at that, Jotun 72%. Now that probably means, like, look, 24-hour volume, 6 copies of Jotun sold. Wow.
Oh,
No,
that's a lot.
that is a lot. Yeah, interesting. And Dr. Blight too. Wow. Dr. Blight came out, launched as a promo card when Chaos Legion came out, and was selling for like 150, and then fell down to about 70, and now it's still 80. So I mean, the price of this card has been relatively stable. Yes, I mean, it hasn't been stable. Like I said, 150 to 70 is a huge difference. But in Splinterlands cards, you know, we saw like Wavesmith go from 2 pennies to $15 back to 12 cents. So I mean, there's way more volatile than this. And that's interesting. Kitties,
Yeah.
kitties up a little. Now, what's up the most? Calidum, interesting. Yeah,
One copy.
okay, good point. This is a feature. This is a feature I haven't looked at very much. I think maybe since we last had the chance to meet and talk about these things.
Mhm.
Okay, so hang on a second. 24-hour volume. I wonder if is there an easy way to see meaningful, I don't want to see, like I want to see percents up and down, but then I almost want to like disinclude zero volume.
That makes sense. I should probably make a filter for that. Yeah, that's probably something I should do in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Talk a little bit more about your community event, and then maybe we can leave it there. But what do you want people to know? You want them obviously to come on and share some experience with Summoner Lab and post it. So for this one, you're looking for like written word talking about the utility
Yes.
and experience with the website, correct?
Yes, something like a blog post or things
Awesome.
like that. Yeah.
Awesome. And when did they have until submission? Your post
Until June 1st.
Okay. Okay, so we got about a week and a half left. I'll make sure the link to this is in the description of this video. Is there anything else that you want to share or that you want people to know? Oh, let's talk about the cost.
Oh, yeah, you can use it for free, but you have limited data.
Okay.
So if you want to, you can go to others and then pricing. And yeah, you can see basically you get with the free version, you get only 5 charts a day with only 2 weeks of data. While if you have the pro version, you get 1 year of data and 30 charts a day, which is plenty. You get always the technical analysis tools, and in the free version, as we saw in the beginning of the video, you have limited access even to win rates and things like that. But yeah, you can use it anyway. So, I mean, the main idea is that people use it. Then to cover my expenses, of course, I need to make it pay. But yeah,
Payable through DEC or SPS?
sure.
Yeah, awesome. And a slight discount on the Pro if they're purchasing yearly.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, man, I think it's great. I think it's clean. I think it's easy to understand. And guys, I think this is a really helpful tool from that perspective. I think it's really almost going to train you in thinking through why certain cards win, and you can begin to then click on, well, it always wins with that one. Okay, then I click on it's best, one of its best teammates, and then maybe that best teammate starts a new conversation. Well, it's got another teammate, and you didn't think about that, and it can introduce you to new matchups that you wouldn't have thought of. It can introduce you to data supported great teams and maybe data support for why certain teams you keep trying aren't working. So I find that it's a really effective tool from that perspective. And MuWave, yeah, I appreciate what you're doing here, man. Keep it up.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, guys, thanks for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. Go check out the site. God bless.